7 of these developments so you can come into complete community life. You know, Jummuah was not established until Medina. Ramadan was not established until Medina. Zakat was not established until Medina. Why? Because in Mecca, they were in the formative stages. The community had not evolved to the point where it could establish these things. I remember Imam Muhammad, Rahim al-Alayh, he told us once, why is God, Allah going to give you all sorts of rituals when you're not even in control of your own reality so that you can apply them? So you don't see them applied into Medina. So mudgha. So we talked about alaqa for a couple of weeks now. So let's move on to mudgha. Mudgha, chewed, they translated chewed morsel of flesh, right? And we talked about the alaqa, right, as representing man in his spiritual form, seeking truth and consistency and wholeness and consistency for that truth. And that's the integrity of it. And we looked at Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam clinging to his human nature. Seek wholeness and consistency for that truth, that spiritual truth, and it will bring him into another progression. So you're going to come out of the alaqata into the mudgha. So physiologically, what's happening, physically, biologically, you start to see the precursors to bones, these little deposits. You start to see what will make the backbone. That's why it says chew morsel of flesh. When you look at what will eventually become the backbone, it looks like human teeth. Right? So those things that are necessary to progress the life and develop all of the organs necessary to sustain the life is being put in place. So, upon the spiritual consistency, he will be able to build social truth, social integrity, social wholeness, social consistency. Now, remember Imam Muhammad, he told us that all of your spiritual aspirations need a physical manifestation. And those physical manifestations serve the needs of the society. Right? But if you haven't come into the spiritual wholeness, the physical manifestation of it is not going to be complete. So you have to come through that step, then you establish what's necessary for social wholeness, social completeness. So now, Adam, potential, John and Jesus, spirit, Yusuf, perception or psyche, Idris. Idris comes from darasa. You know, madrasa, they're connected. And this is lessons. So this is structured education for your society. Structured education to build the culture. You're not going to get there with just possibility. You're not going to get there with just spirit. You need both. Okay, perception is important. Okay, but then there has to be codification. There has to be structure. There has to be education. There has to be lessons that you build upon. And it's not always in a class. Ya'maruna bil ma'arufi. You enjoin what is right. That's how they translate it, right? But ma'arufi comes from arifa, and arifa means to know. So ma'arufi means you enjoin what is known to be best for the life of the human being. That's what you establish. You establish those things that are known to serve the life of the human being. And you don't what? You do not establish وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. And you forbid what is, they translate this wrong, right? But munkar comes from nakhira. Nakhira means to be indefinite. These things are not known. This is guess. You don't guess. Okay. Now there's a laboratory that you have to do some guessing in, but you have to perfect it in the laboratory before you apply it in the society. So this mudghah stage is a very important stage for our development. And remember, we're coming out of indefinite into definite as we cultivate, as we grow. And Allah is the one that marks it as definite. And then He inspires you when it's time to take that next step in your development. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulihi al-kareem Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een amma ba'd. Brothers and sisters, if you remember last week at Jummuah, we talked about the Jummuah itself and how it's important for us to come together collectively so that we can address issues, social issues, address community needs. I got a call, I got a text message from Dr. Nasser Ahmed. You know, Dr. Nasser Ahmed has been coming to Houston for years. He's been teaching here at Masjid Talim every time he comes. Every time we invite him to a Ramadan session, he shows up. He's operated on all of our mouths at one time or another. Don't charge us anything. He just does it to please Allah. It's his sadaqah. He's the Imam at Masjid Al-Ansar in Miami. And Masjid Al-Ansar, during the hurricane, its roof was damaged. And they need to raise around $48,000, $49,000 to repair it. So he left a message. He said, Imam Wazir, we wanna know what are the requirements to bring you in. So I sent him a message and I said, well, all I need is the date. But it didn't translate. So I called him and I said, Dr. Nasser, you contacted me a few weeks ago and you were asking me about coming to do the fundraiser. Do you still need those services? He said, well, you know, we set it up on the 17th of December and I don't know what your schedule is. I said, for you, whatever you got going on is my schedule. He said, okay, let me get it set up and let me make some phone calls. I'll get back with you. So he sent me a text and said, just send me your birth date and everything so we can get the ticket. It will be on December the 17th, on Sunday, December the 17th from 5 to 8:30. We'll fly you in Sunday night and fly you back in Monday morning. I told him Masjid WD Muhammad will pay for the tickets. You have to pay it forward, brothers and sisters. When we lost our masjid because of that hurricane, we got donations from all over the country. We had people who didn't even know would send us $10,000 donations. After Hurricane Harvey, we had people sending us thousands of dollars of donations, and we took care of the community. And many of our community members can bear witness that they received assistance, that those funds went to work. The repairs that we're doing back there, these repairs are coming from some of the assistance that we got after Hurricane Harvey. So, brothers and sisters, not only do we want to pay for. Then he asked me, okay, what will your honorarium be? I told him, Dr. Nasser, I wouldn't insult Masjid al-Ansar by asking you to pay me an honorarium. Allahu Akbar. Why? Because God will pay me. Because that's his house that we're going to raise money for. And after Jummuah, we're going to raise $2,000 or $3,000. And not only is Masjid Wazir Muhammad going to fly me to Miami, we're going to fly with a check to give a donation. Now you say, now keep saying Allahu Akbar, because after Jummuah, I'm going to stand up. After Jummuah, we're going to have an old style fundraiser, right? So when I say, and I'm not going to ask for a whole bunch, we're going to give a real manageable donation. So I'll be Allahu Akbar now, but I say, who will give this? That was me. But how nice will that be for them? And that's what we need as a community. That's what you had in the Nation of Islam. You had that camaraderie. You had that spirit. You took care of each other. You made sure that the houses of God was taken care of. We didn't learn all this Quran. We didn't learn all this Sunnah to forget the ethics and the principles and the habits that we have for success before God brought us into a higher understanding. Allahu Akbar. If you forget all of those things, you really don't have a higher understanding. You're marveling on philosophy, and the masjid is falling apart. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And not just Miami, all over the country, where our buildings are falling apart. Listen, there's over 1 million people in our community. Now, if each of us just sent a different masjid $1 every week, we could rebuild our community in 1 year. We could rebuild our whole community in 1 year. But what happens? Satan comes. Well, what they gonna do with the money? This is $1? What you worried about? You gonna waste that? You gonna go buy a soda with $1? Diabetes in a bottle. And you don't want to send the masjid $1? Don't make any sense. Even if it's $100, you're gonna go watch the Justice League, Batman, whatever. You're gonna spend $12 a ticket, right? Take your wife, it's $25. If you got as many kids as me, you got to take a loan out. I got 6 kids. Then you go in and they give you popcorn with some kind of oil on it. A peculiar oil. You buy you buy a tub of diabetes, right? And high blood pressure. Put a bunch of salt on it. Then you go sit in the movie for 2 hours. Huh? And then somebody say, give $100 for the masjid. That popcorn is going to last you 2 hours. That soda, depending on you, might last you 10 minutes. That money you give to repair the house of God will be given to you in the afterlife. In the akhirah. That popcorn is not going to be there. It might get you there quicker, but it's not going to be there. It's not going to be there. That soda pop is not going to be there. But what you give to please God will be there, and it will continue. And it might be the exact thing that gets you in. You might be right on the line. And then God said, remember that $100 you gave me? Yes, yes! MashaAllah! Allahu Akbar. So alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Now, isn't it fitting that we help a masjid called Al-Ansar? Al-Ansar means the help.